Have you ever witnessed a trade so catastrophically bad that even the opposing general manager thought it was a clerical error? That level of madness goes beyond dysfunction. It's pure front office chaos, and it's exactly what's happening in New Orleans right now. The Pelicans aren't just losing games, they're losing generational assets because Joe Dumars, the GM, decided it was smart to trade a completely unprotected first-round pick in 2026 just to jump 10 spots and draft Derek Queen, who's barely getting any real NBA minutes. This move was so baffling that the Atlanta Hawks front office actually called Dumars to make sure he wasn't messing up the math. They waited on the line, praying he wouldn't realize just how badly he was burning his own franchise and rescind the offer. But no. Joe signed off with a smile. Trade accepted, picks gone, future mortgaged. And for what? A rookie struggling to get on the floor outside of blowout minutes. Imagine being a Pelicans fan right now. The Kings have a history of chaos. The Wizards have been a disaster for years. The Suns just blew up a contender for Bradley Beal. The Nets openly admitted they're tanking. But none of them, not a single one, comes close to the sheer basketball tragedy taking place in New Orleans. Because this Pelicans team didn't just make a dumb trade. They made that trade believing they were a playoff team. They were all in. They sold picks, hope, and logic for a chance to win now. But guess who's the only winless team in the NBA right now? The New Orleans Pelicans. Winless. In a league where Brooklyn is literally trying to lose on purpose. Let that sink in. One franchise admits to tanking for draft picks, while the other bends over backward to chase the playoffs. And the playoff team is somehow worse than the tanking team. And it's not even close, Zany. Not only are the Pelicans 0-6, they've been downright embarrassing. We're talking about 3 30-point losses in the first 6 games. That's 50% of their season so far, lost by 30. And if that wasn't bad enough, they went plus 29 to 9-2 in a single half against Denver. It's one thing to get outplayed, it's another to literally give up. That's not a bad roster. That's a broken culture. That's a team that's completely quit on the season before Halloween. And while it's easy to point at Zion or wonder what's going on with Ingram, the problem is so much deeper. This isn't a player issue. It's not even a coaching issue anymore. It's a front office collapse. Decisions like this don't just sink seasons, they sink futures. The Pelicans didn't draft badly, they didn't miss a signing. They traded away the one thing no rebuilding franchise can afford to lose, an unprotected first-round pick. And they still can't win a game. This isn't tanking. This is what happens when a franchise pretends it's smarter than the rest of the league, then gets exposed in front of everyone. Pelicans fans deserve answers. And Joe Dumars? He might have just set a new standard for front office incompetence. The Pelicans didn't just collapse, they flat out quit. After jogging through the first half like it was preseason cardio, they came out in the third quarter and played like a team already thinking about summer vacations. Denver looked at the scoreboard, realized the game wasn't over, and dropped a 29-2 run to start the second half like it was nothing. 29-2. It took the Pelicans nearly 8 minutes just to get a field goal after halftime. And the worst part? It's not like Denver was running some secret offensive code. This was basic basketball. Drive, kick, shoot, rotate. Something every middle school runs. Yet the Pelicans played defense like they were allergic to competition. Take this clip. Alvarado drives, throws up a wild brick. Jordan Poole, instead of boxing out, sprints toward the ball like it's a clearance sale, leaving Jamal Murray, yes, the Jamal Murray, wide open in the corner. Jokic sees it instantly and delivers the dagger. 3 points, crowd silent, coach is speechless. 2 plays earlier, it happened again. Same story. Brick, outlet, transition. Peyton Watson. Murray, wide open. Splash. The Pelicans aren't just getting beat. They're getting dissected in slow motion. And trust me, I didn't have to dig through hours of film to find these clips. Just rewind for 3 straight possessions and you'll see a defense that looks like it belongs in high school. Bruce Brown rolls off a simple screen and walks into a wide-open layup, so open that he misses it, and still taps in the offensive rebound because not a single Pelican wanted to contest. 3 plays, 3 buckets, 3 examples of effort dying publicly on national TV. So yeah, I get why people are pointing fingers at Willie Green. And honestly, if he's still the head coach by the time this video drops, it'll be a miracle. But let's be real, this isn't just about coaching. This is a locker room full of players who refuse to take accountability, coast through games, and only perk up when it's time to pad their box score. And the fans, man, the fans don't deserve this. They get clowned as a non-basketball market all the time. But even with zero expectations coming into the year, even after the whole Zion saga, they still came out with energy. They still believed in something bigger. All they asked for was effort. And what did this team give them? Apologies, excuses, and garbage time minutes. And just when you thought this front office couldn't get any worse, here's a little detail people forget. The Pelicans didn't just trade away one unprotected pick. They made another move on draft night too. And that one didn't age well either. This franchise isn't just losing games. They're losing hope, culture, and identity, one trade at a time. If the Pelicans had just done nothing, literally nothing, they could have been sitting on 2 top 5 picks in what was hyped up as the most loaded draft class in years. But instead, Joe Dumars went full chaos mode, dumped an unprotected first-round pick that could have easily turned into a future star just to move up a few spots and draft Derek Queen, a guy they're now treating like a practice squad player. And it gets even worse when you look at it in context. They didn't just throw away a Pacers pick. Nope, they already gave up their own. That's 2 potential franchise-changing picks gone in back-to-back moves, all while sitting dead last in the NBA standings. Sure, nobody could have predicted Tyrese Halliburton tearing his Achilles, but even with that bad luck, there's a lesson here. Smart front offices don't rely on luck. They protect their future. They build flexibility. They don't triple down on reckless decisions every offseason and hope something randomly works out. But the Pelicans? They've made panicking look like strategy. Let's go down the list real quick, Zany. They traded Dyson Daniels, easily the best perimeter defender on the roster, plus 2 first-round picks just to get DeJounte Murray, a guy who doesn't solve a single one of their real problems. Then they flipped CJ McCollum for Jordan Poole, a move that might sound fine on paper, until you realize Poole is getting benched behind a rookie and is locked into nearly $60 million over the next 2 seasons. How do you trade veterans and still take on more salary for a guy that doesn't fit your identity, timeline, or culture? That's front office malpractice. But wait, we're not done, because just when you think the decision-making can't possibly get any dumber, the Pelicans find a new punchline. In that infamous Denver game, the one where they got blasted by 30, they benched their recent first-round center, F.A. Abogidi, in favor of 40-year-old shot DeAndre Jordan, a player who literally wasn't on any roster a week before. A player who everyone in the league has watched fall off for years. And this wasn't a small change. They started him. They opened an NBA game in 2025 with a player who hasn't been relevant since Obama was in office. And for what? Insider knowledge on how to slow Jokic down? Spoiler alert, it didn't work. Jokic looked like he was scrimmaging against interns at a summer camp. So now the Pelicans have a situation where they're not even developing their young talent or winning games. They're stuck in the worst timeline imaginable. No picks, no growth, no direction. Let me make this clear. Joe Dumars didn't just ruin the Pelicans. He fundamentally trapped them. He traded away the future, pushed all hope into a win-now season, then refused to go all in on development or tanking. Instead of playing Derek Queen, Jeremiah Fears, and Abogidi 30 minutes per game and accepting a rebuild, he has them stuck on the bench behind washed vets while the team gets embarrassed by 30 on national TV. That's not rebuilding. That's not competing. That's just dying in slow motion. And for the fans, I genuinely feel for them, because this is still one of the most loyal, passionate fan bases in the league once they're given even a flicker of hope. They embraced Zion. They celebrated the Ingram trade when it looked promising. They've shown up through chaos, through injuries, through heartbreak. They're the kind of loyal every small market franchise dreams about. And what do they get? The worst product in the NBA with none of the upside that usually comes with losing. This isn't just a bad season. This is the kind of thing that sets a franchise back 5 years, maybe more. Unless something changes fast, this could easily become the darkest era in Pelicans history. And all I can say to the fans is this: you deserved better. You deserved smarter decisions, a plan, a direction, anything. Not this cycle of panic, compromise, and disaster. I'd love to tell you the future looks brighter. I'd love to say the assets will pay off or the prospects will blossom. But right now, it's hard to see the vision. And if the people in power can't find one, nothing is going to change. At this point, Pelicans fans aren't just losing games, they're losing faith. And when a fan base starts to tune out, the damage becomes way bigger than losses in the standings.